What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with...
One. I'm stretching my back and my throat.
Because it's all connected. And welcome to another Q&A where we're the A and you're the Q, because you guys are QTs for the greater...
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Put a question in front of your question, because we get to those questions first. And that question can be just about anything. We don't judge a lot.
I found it. This next question is by none other than the infamous Gruff Bevan.
Ooh, Gruff Bevan. It's been a while.
It has.
I
Too
actually
long.
don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know why, but your name reminds me of like a Star Wars character.
Gruff Evans? No, what was it?
Gruff Bevan.
His question is,
Why does everyone hate the Tau?
that is a very touchy question, I guess. It comes down to the fact that I feel like the Tau are not really 40K. They don't feel like 40K.
They're the least 40K of the bunch, definitely.
Because you have this grim, dark future where there's nothing but war, and then you have the Tau with their little greater good. They have AI. They have that like anime Gundam feel, where like in reality, I think the original 40K was just like heavy metal.
No sleek, shiny edges. It was battle-ridden, blood, sweat.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it speaks to something that has always been true in the hobby, and that is that the older generation, so the dudes that have been playing 40K for the longest usually influence the younger ones, so then that carries over. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the dudes who grew up on Rogue Trader started to see that, like, you know, the Tau Empire, what kind of bullshit is this? Fed that into the hobby store. The youngins in the hobby store picked that up, and then
It's just like a saying that's always been a thing. Like, I picked up Tau back in 5th edition for weeb purposes. And there's never been a time that I remember where, like, the hate for the Tau was never a thing.
I think the Tau now can be redeemed, especially with the big old titty Tau.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how things play out. Also, adding noses to the Tau is not going to help GW, so don't do it.
Yeah, Shadow Sun has, like, it's almost like a cat's nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you think all the hate stems from just the older generation sticking to like what 40K was and not embracing the new?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I could see that too with like how Necrons were just mindless. Like, they just destroy. There's no personality, and now there's personality. Now you bring in the Silent King, who is bringing up new dynasties, and there's now like infighting between the Necrons. They're not just all one huge unit led under the King of Silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Why do you guys hate the Tau?
Comment down below.
Yeah. And it's not just because they suck in close combat, because there's ways around that.
There is. He destroyed. We had a game last week, and I had an Alpha Strike. All my army was basically right in front of him, and in one turn, you killed nearly everything.
Yeah, I think there's like one thing remaining. But that was like the perfect scenario. I had Konyan. My units were all bunched up. So I was castling. I had rerolls. I had a ton of shots.
It was devastating. I wanted to cry. I didn't, because I just squeezed my balls really hard.
That didn't make you cry?
That usually calms me down.
Okay.
This next question comes from Michael Ruiz. You want to wrestle? Let's do it right now. And it's funny that your thumbnail is Mia.
Khalifa?
Yep. I thought that was Rick's dog. I guess not anymore.
Right.
Yeah, let's wrestle whenever.
Can I be the ref?
Yep. You can't wear clothes, though.
Oh, of course. I was just thinking of wearing baby butter all over me.
Yeah, baby butter?
Yeah.
What is baby butter?
Like baby butter pop.
Where's that from?
TV.
What's the difference between butter and margarine?
Isn't margarine a name?
Wait, no.
Yeah.
I
Like
can't.
Marge, like from The Simpsons. That's her name, Margarine. That's why she's like yellow, like the margarine.
Oh, really?
Because margarine is just melted butter, ain't it?
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of taffy.
Melted butter is melted butter. And taffy's a candy. Anyways,
I'm the Chef Gordon of One Mind Syndicate. As you
we
can
should
tell.
put question in front of our question
Yeah.
so that they can answer it.
What is? Oh, wait. Question. Sound Alchemist says, "What is margarine?"
Please comment down below. Next question.
This one's by Gofaria Rebels. My question is, oh, he says, "Sup, my guys. My question is, can the orcs have multiple colors on them, or vehicles that activate the weird wall energy so they can use? I'm not that deep into orc lore, and I don't know what to ask about them."
It's not going to work the same. So like if you have to have a vehicle that's mostly red in order for it to go faster. You have to have yellow, mostly yellow, for it to go boom. If you have a vehicle that's multicolored, kind of like the Flash gets, you don't get any buff from that because the Flash gets don't get any buff from that.
And it's interesting because, like, I'm thinking if orcs see in the same spectrum that we as humans do, maybe it's not red that makes, red go faster. Maybe it's the belief in that shade. I don't know.
You made me think right now because I'm on TikTok and I get some weird suggestions besides the usual. And basically what it is like there's some girl who was talking about how bees, the way that bees fly, their wings have some type of geometric shape, and that geometric shape emits some type of electromagnetic like thing that allows them to levitate. So it's not just your basic
Aerodynamics.
right, yeah, it's something else.
It's witchcraft.
Basically like witchcraft. And then it made me think of in Eisenhorn Xenos, that's how they explain Slaaneish's powers being like basically geometric shapes that are created within the architecture of some city make the city itself like it can move based on those geometric shapes. So it's like otherworldly, but in reality it's just tied to science. So this girl on TikTok anyways, she says that those shapes can still be can be copied from the wings of the bee, and you can actually put it on something that shouldn't be able to levitate, and it does levitate. And there's a couple of people that have actually written books on it, and they talk about these geometric shapes and stuff like that, and they find it in drones now. So I thought that's interesting. We never learned that growing up in high school and stuff like that. We just learned about
Pythagorean theorems.
well, no, the just the basic aerodynamic,
Right.
And like lift and whatever. But anyways, maybe that's what the orcs are doing. Maybe the orcs actually see some type of pattern within that color, and that color that we evolved to just perceive the color, where they evolved to like see a pattern within red that makes them go faster. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I made any sense. But that's life, I guess.
That's true.
Next question.
This one's by Timothy Armstrong. I heard there was a new model for a fighter plane, but I forgot what it was and how much it costs.
I haven't heard about that.
No. Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe you're thinking of Aeronautica Imperialis, which is like a skirmish game for 40K with like flyers.
Yeah. This next question comes from Bearded Guy, or The Bearded Guy. Is it true the Sound Alchemist is a secret heretic? Well, for sure, he plays Tau.
Mm-hmm. And I get power from the hate that Tau gets. It's all because of geometric shapes of how hate works in real life, and how Slaanesh takes that geometric stuff, puts it into the cities, and makes some moves. And TikTok, girls, and bees.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
This one's by Malix Plays. Why does the Alpha Legion get no love on the table? I get the I'm Alfarius because we are all Alfarius, but I'd actually love to have a named leader for my forces. The thing about Alpha Legion and any other
It's undivided.
yeah, since they're undivided, they don't get love because there's so many of them. Usually when it's undivided, it's the Black Legion because they have Abaddon and he's such a main character. But when it comes to the Iron Warriors, the Night Lords, Alpha Legion, there's barely any love to you guys because GW loves to focus so much on the Chaos factions that actually have a patron god, because I feel like that's probably easier to give them stuff. Especially when it comes to like books and stuff like that. You'll see the Thousand Sons get like their own supplement, the Death Guard, the World Eaters maybe will be getting one soon. But when it comes to these other war bands, Chaos, they're just kind of like, we'll get to them later, and they never do.
Yeah, so blame Abaddon, and blame the older generation that really liked Abaddon. You played Chaos for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you ever drawn to Abaddon's story?
Not at all.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe it's because we started playing like around 5th edition.
And I had an Abaddon back in 5th edition, a metal model, and it's the memes are all true. Like, the arms would not stay on.
Yeah. But yeah, so blame Abaddon.
Mm-hmm.
Phaladon.
But he actually did his thing in secret. At least that's what GW says.
Supposedly. This next question comes from Trogdor420. He says, instead of saying putting question, he put ¿qué? He said, I thought Mexicans were sweet like horchata.
I don't think horchata's sweet.
It's not.
It?
It's cinnamon. Cinnamon
Yeah.
is not sweet. It's spicy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the thing that has always bugged me is that if you eat Eastern food, their spice is not the same as like what we're used to in the West, or at least in the Americas. So like when we think spicy, we think like jalapeno spice or like different chilies and stuff like that. Whereas like in Eastern food, their spice is more of like, what is it, turmeric?
Yeah, like
And
powders.
Like, curry, and it's good and everything, but I guess because we didn't grow up eating it, whenever I do have Indian food or like Thai food or anything like that, it's not that like burning sensation on my tongue. It's that burning sensation in my stomach that makes me run to the bathroom, which sucks.
Does it? Maybe it's meant to clean you out.
No, that's what coffee's for. Or not coffee, caffeine.
There you go. You should mix the two.
Coffee and caffeine?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'll just take pre-workout.
Pre-workout and 4 Loco will do the job.
Yeah.
This one's by Peter Farley. Which 40K races regularly practice cannibalism? Humans? I feel like they do, and Nids obviously do. But what about like Dark Eldar and Orcs? Do they also practice cannibalism?
Yes. So orcs have... it's not even just cannibalism. Basically, they have an orc pie. And the orc pie is... Each element of that orc pie comes from squigs, Gretchen, and orcs. Mm-hmm. And because they are lichens, technically you can make bread, cheese, meat, and vegetables, obviously, from an orcoid species. So it's almost like if we were to start eating chimpanzee meat. That's gross. Maybe.
And Neanderthal meat. And what came before that? The chicken or the egg?
I think humans, like modern day us, we lived with Neanderthals and 3 other...
Mm-hmm. Cro-Magnon? Maybe not.
Something like that, I don't know. But either way, we won. So I guess we did eat them.
Does that also include the ancient aliens?
We ate the aliens, yep. Next question. Oh, also, Dark Eldar, I'm pretty sure, do practice cannibalism because it's like sadistic and hedonistic or something like that. It's kind of like bringing a sandwich into your lovemaking. If you guys have seen that episode of Seinfeld, it's really funny, where George Costanza just keeps bringing like random food into the bedroom. What's the craziest food you've brought into the bedroom?
Does steaming hot soup count?
Yeah.
It's like, I got some broccoli cheddar. Where's my bread bowl?
Next question.
Martin Van Posen. Could it be possible for Tyranids to devour a Catan? If so, how would that benefit them? I don't think it's possible because when you think about Catan, they're very volatile in the state that they're in. For one, they're fractured into fractions of what they used to be, so they're not as strong. And two, often their skin or their necrodermis shell, when it's cracked, it's all energy inside there. So oftentimes when you kill a Catan, there's like a massive explosion. So killing a Catan would just basically create a bomb. And unless Tyranids evolved to eat energy, I don't think they could survive that or eat energy like that.
Yeah. Yep. Those shards, man.
Mm-hmm. They're strong for a reason.
This next question comes from Brain Bomb, since we're talking about explosions. What's the difference between a combi bolter and a storm bolter in the lore? A combi bolter just has like some type of
underslung
weapon, like a
flamer, melt, plasma,
rockets.
Yeah. Where what do you say, storm bolter?
It's just a storm bolter.
Yeah, that's literally two bolters together. So you shoot two bolts at once.
And it goes like a storm.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they used to have the sheets, the metal sheets. It used to go like that.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by Metro Ranger. Is it possible for there to be a good demon? Say, for instance, an agri-sector cut off from the Imperium started to worship the Abrahamic God and his angels. Would new demons and maybe even a chaos god be created in the warp with their characteristics and become good?
So, not in the sense that you're speaking of, because there wouldn't be enough warp juice to create these types of gods. Mm-hmm. But there are good demons in the form of, what are they called? Demon hosts. So like the Inquisition will actually summon a demon, put it into a body, and then they use that demon host to do good things, like fight chaos.
Make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And the thing is, like you were saying earlier, it is really, really, really difficult to create a god, a chaos god in the Immaterium, because you need billions upon trillions of beings, sentient, psychically powerful beings, to praise one common thing to create it in the warp.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at Slaanesh, for instance. It was the golden point of the most ancient, the most populous of powerful psychers to create Slaanesh. Will we ever see something like that again? I don't think so. Because I can't think... Well, there's only one thing that I can think of that maybe rival that, and that is the belief of the greater good. But the Tau are not psychically powerful to that extent to manifest a chaos god.
That'd be crazy if they were. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be a chaos god of unity?
Maybe. Chaos god of goth big titty GFs.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's what Tau are.
Yeah. A certain cast.
Yeah.
Because the the air cast probably not fit that.
No, they're slim and tall, and their bones are hollow, and they could fly at one point.
They could, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But their membranous vestigialness has disappeared.
Yeah, some of them still have the geometric little shapes on the bottom of their hands, so they just do that, and then they fly.
No wonder they're always on like the ships. They're just watching TikTok on their screens.
Basically, that's what most people do nowadays at work, working from home. Yeah. Next question.
He's got actually a follow-up question. Is it possible for the gods of humanity, such as Norse, Roman, Greek, Hindu, Aztec, etc., to also exist at one point, along with like the elder gods who fell to the ruinous powers?
I think they would be lesser gods. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Mars, or what's his Roman name?
Jupiter?
No, Mars is... Aries.
Aries, yeah.
So, like, that would have just been a manifestation of corn. Same thing with, like, the fertility stuff.
Isha.
Yeah, things like that.
Aphrodite, Persephone.
Right. Yeah. Beauty, so slow. Some type of Slaanesh.
Right, Bridget B. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Her OnlyFans is not free anymore. Bridget B's isn't. Not Slaanesh. Slaanesh is always free.
Yeah. You guys missed out.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope that answers those questions.
And if not, hit the replay button.
It's probably not going to make any sense either way.
Well, maybe they just have to hear the explanation of the bees and the geometric shapes again. Then it'll click.
Yeah. Or just follow TikTok. And I mean, honestly, your phone is listening to you right now. So whatever you are listening to, what you're watching. So, if we start talking about geometric shapes, eventually
It'll get recommended to you.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to fly.
Right. It's interesting how phones work, because like I was telling you earlier, I saw a video of a frog eating a spider, and now it's like frog eats a tarantula, a frog eats another frog eats you.
And then it eats you. And now we're dead.
Inside of a frog's gullet.
And that's what this room is. Inside the warp.
Mm-hmm. That window, looking out into the warp, that's just the inside of the frog's eye.
Yep.
The eye of terror.
We control it now. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening this long. I hope your painting is going well.
Yeah. I hope so too.
This is Gershwan,
the Sound Alchemist, and we're seeing you guys next time.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.